Hi, my name is James. It's really not, but this is a story about my school. By the way, I'm 10. This happened 2 years ago. When I was in the 3rd grade, then for some reason the power turned off. Everyone did not know what to do, so my friends, let's call him Mark. So Mark checked the power supply down the hall. 10 minutes later, an alarm started. It was saying, "All students, we are currently on lockdown due to a suspicious guy who shot the..." That's when it cut off. And then Mark came running back to class, slamming the door behind him and locking it. He was so strong, the door was so loud. We were all only around 8 or 9, so we were really scared until we heard fighting. The kind of fighting when someone is defending something, but then 3 gunshots. We all started crying, but then we heard police sirens. We were saved. The man was a 32-year-old man named Will Jahan, if I remember. Writing this now, I wondered what would have happened if we did not hear the alarm on time. When I was really young, about 4 or 5, me and my family lived in an apartment. It wasn't an old apartment. It was kind of a neighborhood filled with the same apartments. There was a pool, playground, and yard space. At the time, it was only my parents, me, and my little sister, who was 2 years younger than me, living there. This one day, my family was all downstairs cooking breakfast, and I was playing in the 3rd bedroom we made into a playroom. In my closet, I had my Care Bear collection and a whole bunch of shelves of books. While I was playing with God knows what, I heard a little boy ask me, "Do you want to play with me?" From the closet, I figured it could have been my cousins that my parents would babysit once in a while, and he was trying to scare me. When I looked in the closet, no one was there. I called out to the voice and asked, What do you look like?" For some odd reason, I thought if I knew what it looked like, I could find him easier. There was no response, and I ran downstairs to tell my mom. For the years, I have thought of many explanations. Maybe it was my sister, but she was with my mom. Maybe it was my cousin, but no one was over that day, and I didn't see anyone. Maybe it was one of the Care Bears malfunctioning. My yellow Care Bear Share Bear said, "Hooray, it's time to play," and a few other phrases when I squeezed him, but he never said that question or gone off without squeezing him. I have him in my room to this day, and he has never gone off. I convinced myself it was my imagination, but who knows? This all started back a few years ago when I was heading to Salt Lake City for a lacrosse tournament. It was me and my mom going, and we got a late start on traveling, so it wasn't until 3 a.m. when we arrived, about 30 minutes outside of Salt Lake City. We were being followed by a scary-looking man in an old Ford Ranger. I remember he kept swerving around us and getting extremely close to our car, the whole time laughing and making scary faces. This went on for about 15 minutes before my mom called the police. At that very instant, she called the man and immediately swerved off of the highway and into the nearest exit. That was the last we saw of him, and it still freaks my mother out today. My name is Noah, and I'm 15. This story is based on true events encountered by my brother, who is currently 12, and me. This happened when I was 13. Me and my brother used to have a wardrobe filled with random costumes, from Spider-Man to Indiana Jones, etc. We would always dress up and roleplay in our backyard, which was basically a big square if you looked at it from above, and had a metal fence all around it. Anyways, on this particular day, when I was dressed as Indy and my brother was dressed as Woody from Toy Story, we were role-playing as if I was captured and Woody needed to save me or something like that. It doesn't really matter. It was in autumn when the day started getting shorter and turned dark really quickly. We were just about to jump from the window, surviving a massive explosion of dynamite behind us, when I heard a whistle coming from somewhere around us. We both heard it and started looking around. Keep in mind that it was dark at that moment. After we looked around, seeing nothing, we heard another whistle. "Over here," said the man that was leaning against the fence, staring at us, with his eyes being red as if they were filled with blood. Now, me and my brother were both scared shitless when we saw him. He was a middle-aged man wearing a brown leather jacket, dirty jeans, and some really old white shoes. His hair was long and greasy. My brother was really scared, and I held on to my arm. Shaking in fear, I looked at the man and yelled, "Get off of our fence, mister. I'll call my dad." He looked at me with an angry and frightening expression. What happened next was that scared me for life. The man jumped over the fence and started walking towards us. My brother started crying and I screamed for help. I was crying as the man picked up the pace and I led my brother with me to the other corner of the yard. We both screamed as he got closer and closer, until I heard my dad scream from the porch, "Get the fuck away from my kids." My father was 52 at that time, and I never seen him run so fast. He charged at the man and knocked him down. He started beating the man and didn't stop until he was knocked out cold. He then got up and ran over to us as my mom, grandparents, and my aunt and uncle ran outside in shock as they saw the man lying in the grass. Our mom ran over to us and cried along with us, relieved that we weren't hurt. My uncle and grandpa held the man down as he tried to get up and run away, while my aunt called the police. After 5 minutes, we heard the sirens. 3 policemen came up into the garden. 2 of them picked up and led the man into the car, while the other policeman came over to us and said that we'll have to come to the police station to make a statement. We went to the police station, made the statement, and went back home. Our parents, my brother, and me slept in one bed all together because we were all in shock. The next day, Detective B. Jazik, the name is known but won't be shared for privacy reasons, came to our door and we found out that man was a serious sex offender. I'm so grateful that my brother and I weren't harmed, but I still don't know what would have happened if my family wasn't home. I don't think I even want to know.